When life throws you in weird circumstances, lean in because there is so much value that you need to discover, and it's your job to discover where the value is. And I share this as life has thrown me in some very unique corners. And over the past 2 days, I wasn't trying to market or sell, and I had two founders in the same industry land in my lap through odds and ends. In both instances, one guy wanted to hire me, and then he asked for my retainer amount, and I'm like, we'll talk. And then yesterday, I spent 12 hours with the founder, and he magically needed marketing and branding, and both these guys needed marketing and branding. Now, let me tell you how I found them. This is so funny. So 2 days ago, I'd finished editing, and I didn't want to do anything else creative. So I was like, man, I'm bored, and I didn't want to just sit here. And my intuition was like, go Uber. And I was like, I don't want to Uber. But my intuition was like, go Uber. And I was like, all right, let's go Uber then. So I went out and Ubered, like no goal. And then I kid you not, I pick up this guy and I'm like, you coming or going? That's my question I love to ask. And then it's reference to work. And he's like, dude, I'm done. I'm going to go play some poker. And I'm like, dude, I feel like my life is endless. He asked if I was playing poker, and then I was like, dude, I feel like my life is playing Texas Hold'em. I'm like, I've had some shitty cards lately, but still been playing the game. And he's like, what do you do? And told him what I did, and then he's instantly hooked. And we had a 30-minute ride, and he was endlessly just asking me questions, sharing revenue. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think I got this guy in the bag. But he's like, how much, like, what's your salary do you want? And I was like, dude, I don't want to work for anybody. Or he's like, and so forth. And it was so funny to play that, but I was like, dude, let's chat. Like, I really like what you're doing, and I'm interested in helping you. So, nailed that connection. And then yesterday, actually it's that night I get back from Ubering. I get a text from my buddy Oscar, who helps me with graphics, vibe coding, websites, and all that stuff. And Oscar's like, yo, you want to help this guy change out filters? And I'm like, no, but I was like, I wouldn't mind some physical labor and like getting out of the creative scene for a couple days just to experience new stuff. And then sure enough, I'm changing out filters in corporate buildings, all in healthcare, by the way, which got my attention after seeing everything with Fauci that's out there. And we'll create a whole series on this to market Eden and share why I left healthcare as well. But hung out with this guy all day. He needed marketing and branding in the HVAC space, which is, from what I'm realizing, is booming. And then we were talking about all this other business stuff. And before you know it, I was like, I just spent 12 hours with this guy. Not only is he interested in what I do, I could see him as a partner in business because he's got a very serial entrepreneur mindset. And I was like, seems like I helped him with filters, but I'm going to help him with something else later. I could see the merging of that. And it's like, pull those two instances together. And that's been the last 2 days. And then with that, it made me reflect on this time. The first time I gave an elevator pitch was going up to St. Louis Arch to a billionaire, coming back from my last nursing contract in St. Louis, and lived like 4 hours away from St. Louis and Casey. We were just exhausted from driving. I was like, let's go to the Arch, and then I met somebody who would be like my key mentor. And that guy was Paul Sutton. And he, at the time, was a fractional CEO for 5 tech companies in San Fran, and then also doing business in Europe back and forth through the States, and a fascinating guy. And I'd say that guy created the greatest impact in everything that I built. That was about 8 years ago. That was in 2019. And that guy endlessly validated where I was at, which I needed at the time, but then also taught me the greatest thing. He's like, Chris, you got the spirit. And then he's like, you might not have the money, but he goes, if you can make money with no money, you're going to be a very powerful guy. And even talking about Paul makes me tear up. That guy was so cool. But it's like in all those circumstances, they were the most random times, the most random things. My intuition pinged me and I did it. And they endlessly unfolded stuff that I couldn't even imagine, right? And it's like, even what happened the past 2 days, I'm like, I don't know where this is going, but they're both in HVAC. It seems like they're both innovating the HVAC space. And I was like, interesting. Okay, cool. Innovation. We can roll with this. And it's like, eclectically, none of those people did I ask for, did I manifest, did I have the desire to find them? And I magically found them through random pings. And then those random pings, it's just like, it's funny how it all opens up. And to the degree of the last 2 days, I even got the feeling, and we'll do a full video on this probably tomorrow, but it's like, get creative with how you market. We're in this digital space, this digital era where everybody's running ads, everybody's using Claude, and everybody's creating content, and they're posting it, and it's all fucking noise, if you ask me. Because like a good rule I got from this guy, Zach Kravitz, and if you don't follow Zach, follow Zach. Like, he's dope. And it's like, when others zig, you zag. And it's like, if everybody's running ads, posting the social, creating shit on Claude, endlessly posting, throwing out noise. It's like, it's fucking noise, right? Everybody's doing it. You're not going to stand out. You have to 10x what everybody else is doing just to stand out at that market, right? Even Josh Terry threw me that in my first interview I did here in Kansas City, or in Austin. Met this guy named Josh Terry, which you should check out. He's amazing at personal development. And I did a podcast with him, and this landed in my lap as well. And he's like, gave me the best advice ever. And it's like, to beat Alex Hormozi, you have to be better than Alex Hormozi. So why are you trying to compete with him? He's an expert and he knows it. And what he says is endlessly shared by other people on the web. But if you want to stand out, be so different and so unique in what you love that others can't resist but to listen. I mean, number one, look, attraction. 2, listen because you're so unique. And 3, create shifts in them. And I was like, damn, that's good advice. And in regards to marketing, think about this. It's like, if everybody's running ads, everybody's posting to social, and everybody's creating stuff on Claude, if you're doing it too, like, you got to get way past them and do so much more just to be seen. Versus, I made $30 an hour the other night driving around for Uber, made $100 and met this perfect lead for my business. Got to spend 30 minutes with him, connect with him. And he saw me, he saw my value, and he saw what I did. And he's like, yo, let's connect. Add me on LinkedIn. Boom. How much do you want a year? Nothing. How much do you want a month? Here's what I plan for that, but I'm seeking partnerships. Boom. And then, like even yesterday, like 12 hours with this guy, and he needs marketing and branding. And I'm like, I made probably $400-500 yesterday changing filters, got out of the office, got out of my head, got in my body, got to throw around stuff, hang out with some funny guys all day. And it's like, and it's just like, imagine that as a whole. And it's like, I made $600 hypothetically the last 2 days getting out of my normal realm, which Rick Rubin talks about in the creative act, is like, change up what you do. It can be for a day, it can be for a couple, it'll change your life, and it does. But not only that, it's like people are paying to go to events where everybody's trying to sell. I made $500 doing stuff that is out of my norm, got refreshed, and then have 2 probable clients from it. Like, do the math. And if you made it this far in the video, like, that's the gold here, is like, do different stuff. We're in this time where everything's so digital. It's like ads are at their highest cost, but their lowest conversion rate on social media platforms. And, people are even asking me like, what should I do for marketing? And I'm like, don't run ads on social. It's like, get out there, connect with people, be different, have real conversations, go to the depth. Everything online, surface level, it's 8 seconds. What's a 30-minute car ride with somebody who's, important and in business killing it? That's dope. And, it's like the other day, what's 12 hours with a guy killing it in business, showing him that you can work hard and you have the knowledge for what he needs. And not only that, it's like people in that space respect hard work over knowledge and information, And it's like, even with AI, like, everybody has access to information. It's like, what's a course now? It's invaluable, or it's not valuable at all. It's like experience, trial and error is valuable. And, too, it's like, if you don't know what to do, fail quickly. Elon proved it. Blow up 4 rockets and launch become the first trillionaire with an IP like SpaceX. I mean, it's incredible, right? And it's like, though people are afraid to fail, failure is the quickest route. And not only that, trial and error is the highest retention of information in this reality. It's like, safety takes forever and it's not a good path, versus like, try it, mess up, learn quickly. Repeat, reiterate, keep going. Iteration's the fastest process with trial and error to learn something and actually understand what works and what doesn't. You can sit behind a book all day and think you're learning what is correct, and then to watch it on Congress just get absolutely obliterated, right? And it's like, that's the reality we live in. And if you resonate with this content, I can purely say is like, zig when others zag. When life throws you in weird corners, lean the fuck in. Lean in so fucking hard. Instead of like being like, oh, there's a cave. Oh, looks cool. That's what I used to do. There's no value there. But when you like, life puts you in a cave and you're like, all right, guys, let's put our stuff out here. You got a flashlight? Cool. Let's go explore. You never know what you're going to find in that cave. But the deeper you go and the more you trust, the more cool shit you're going to see. And I think that's a perfect takeaway for this entire video, is like, think of life like a cave. If life throws you into caves, don't just peek in it. I know they're scary, but like, dope shit happens in caves. Look into ancient culture, right? And if you don't know what I mean, like, definitely look into that. But it's as a whole, lean into the weird shit life is throwing you so far. And don't go all the way in the rabbit hole, but I mean, lean the fuck in and see what value's there for you. Because if it's weird and it's random, that's when life tends to get my attention, and I hope it gets your attention from here moving forward. So, and then also, be sure to check out the description box. That might be the cave here. The description box has so many great resources for y'all. Give this video a like, comment below. It helps me in the algorithm. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you on tomorrow's video. Peace.